Hey guys, it's Drew again. I don't think I could ever do that. Why would you do that? Are you serious? These are some of the responses I get when I try to explain what my collecting philosophy and what I'm trying to do with my collection overall. You want to find out what that is, what the answers are, and what I'm trying to do? Well, stick around and let's check it out. So the question is, what are you trying to do? I mean, why are you even doing this? Well, let me explain where it else comes from. And for those of you who've been around my channel for a long time, you probably already know this or heard me allude to it, but I have a lot of new people coming in, subscribers and viewers, and just trying to get to know me personally and how I collect. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to collect 100 cards. Now, that doesn't mean I have a list of 100 cards I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to uncollect my collection to get to 100 cards, have no more than 100. Now, that comes with a little bit of a caveat, and so let me explain that. That doesn't include my player collection. So I collect Stan Musial, Carl Erskine, Pee Wee Reese, those don't count. Any complete sets that I've put together, such as the 53 Bowman, 56 Topps, or even the 71 Topps, I don't count those. What I'm talking about is iconic type cards that I have. So things like I've got a Hank Aaron rookie card that would be in that 100, or my DiMaggio Leaf card, that would be another one. So those are the types of cards I'm talking about, but only 100. So let me explain why and kind of where this comes from. The main reason is it's a challenge. It's a different way to collect. We all look at different things, and we, as collectors, we like to look at things and have a goal, and we try to march our way towards it. We come up with a plan and a strategy. So it could be like, I want to get a complete set. Well, how am I going to do that? Well, I'm going to look for lots. I'm going to go to card shows. I'm going to put it on Facebook Marketplace or wherever we're at. And we try to get to that thing. So that's our goal, and then a plan to get to that goal. And other people are like, well, I want to get this really rare card. I want to try to find the low pop. So it's a lot of searching and looking. It's constantly looking on eBay or auction houses or in shows or anywhere else, putting feelers out until finally you might get a hit, and maybe, if you're lucky, you find that really rare low pop card. Or maybe another strategy is just trying to get as many as we can. You know, I really love this card and I get this. And there's nothing wrong with any of those strategies. I've done a lot of those in my history, and it's so great. But for me, what I want to do is I add very few cards to my collection, maybe just a few every year. So I thought, well, how can I challenge myself outside of finding these cards? Not every card that I add is a big card. Now, I have picked up a few bigger ones, or at least for me in the last year or two. But, you know, there's cards on my want list that are only $40, $20, $100. They're not really expensive cards in the overall. So how do I challenge myself to find a card that's fairly easy to find, fairly affordable, but I still want to create a challenge and not just accumulate? Well, for me, it's all about display. Now, as I show this video, if you guys watch, you see the display behind me of all my magazines, but in the four walls within this room, this is the only wall that is not filled with cards. And I'm going to show some of my cards in a second. But if I can't see the card, then I don't want it. And this comes back from a story from a long time ago where I had accumulated thousands, tens of thousands of cards. And while it was fun looking for them, I put them away and then I never looked at them again. And then I would find them and be like, oh yeah, I don't remember where I got it. And it lost its appeal to own these cards. The fun was in finding the cards. So I wanted to try to duplicate the challenge of looking for a card that I really wanted and still make it a challenge that could be sustainable over time. And to me, that's the 100 cards. Now, I'll say this, it's not actually 100 cards. It's a little bit over. And really what it comes down to is I have display racks that I'm going to show you in a second that I've made. And what it comes down to is if I can't display it, if I can't show it on these racks, then I don't want it. I don't want to just stick it in a box or stick it in a binder and just have it. Now, so that's the thing. If I'm going to find a card, if I go to a show or anything, I'm going to Strongsville in a month or so. If I find cards there that I want, it's got to fit on these racks. And my racks are currently full. So if I find a new card that's like, that's the one, then I have to sacrifice a card and get rid of it. And I went through an easy process where there was cards that were kind of cool or I really liked, but those are all kind of gone. So it's getting more difficult, which makes it fun, for me at least. So when people say, you only collect 100 cards, I don't think I can do that. Why would you do that? Well, there's the why. So I'm going to share my racks with you. I'm going to show the cards off. And again, if it doesn't fit on these racks, then it's not that I don't want the card, but I have to take something down in order to put a card up. So I want to show you these racks and tell me what you think as we look through them. So here we go. So I display all the cards in this 100 list, which is actually more than 100, and you'll see chronologically. So the very top one and the first is the oldest card I have. And I'm not going to go through all 100 cards, but you can see them up there, and they just go, like I said, chronologically. And these are the racks that I built, and I built these very specific so I can reach up, pull a card off, and if I want to look at a card, I can look at it, take a peek at the back, do whatever I need to, show it in a video, talk about it, and stick it back easily. But as you follow around, you'll see kind of where my focus is. The first two racks go all the way up into the 50s. After that, it's everything beyond that. In fact, the third rack starts in 1960 and ends in 1982. So, I mean, you can see I'm not really big into the 60s and 70s, although I appreciate those cards. They're just not the cards that would make my top 100. And I'm going to kind of scan over here to the other side, and you can see the final of them. And these are more cards that I collected as a kid. These are the ones that are more special to me. And these are the kind of the leftovers. So the thing is if I find a card that I really like, it's got to fit on one of these shelves. Now, if I take a card down, some of them aren't too hard to be like, well, yeah, I can get rid of that one. But it is getting a little bit more difficult. So I don't know. Is this a way that you would want to collect? Overall, it is over 100 cards. I think total on these shelves is somewhere around 120 cards. But as my collection continues to go, the reason I say 100 when I started it is I had display cases that had doors on them, and at the time it only held 100 cards. But now with these racks, it holds a few more. And I'm actually making some of these racks to try to sell. So if you have an interest in one, leave a comment and maybe I'll have one available for you. But anyway, but these are some of the cards that I have in order, and you know, that's kind of the way it is. So I probably need to do a full room tour. I've changed some stuff around besides these, but that's the way I collect. That's my 100 cards, and that's kind of why I do it. So anyway, let's go back. So what did you think? I mean, is this something you think you could challenge yourself? I was talking to somebody last week, and they thought this was kind of a good idea, but 100 would be a lot, too little, maybe 500, but at least it would keep it within a boundary. And as I did all this, it's funny, as I do this, and I've struggled sometimes with which card am I going to take down, my wife has said, you know, you don't have to do this. You don't have to get rid of a card. And I know I don't have to do it, but I choose to do it. And I could switch at any point. If for some reason something clicks in my collecting brain and I suddenly want to go back to set collecting, well, I know I can do that. I'm just choosing not to do that at this point. It makes it fun. It makes it challenging. It's kind of unusual, and I understand that. And this is not for everybody, and that's okay too. But what do you think? Do you think you could do this? Could you find the cards that you want and be like, these are the only cards I want to have in my collection? Not all of them, as you saw, were super valuable, but all of them had meaning to me. And I guess my goal is if somebody ever comes into my room and looks at stuff, they can pick up a card off the wall, look at it, and be like, hey, what's the deal with this one? And I can tell them a story about that card, how I got it, where I got it, why I got it, and why I still have it, and it made the top 100. And we're going to use 100 in air quotes because we know it's a little bit more than 100. Anyway, thanks for coming along. I appreciate it as always. Let me know what you think in the comments. And until next time, you guys be good.